That's excellent. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. My name is Nick Fedor. I'm the Executive Director at Shaker Heights Development Corporation. I'd like to welcome you all to this fun creative workshop we have on tap for you this morning. We'll go through some introductions and just a few kind of housekeeping items related to teams here. I have the list of folks who are in the meeting now, so I'm just going to run down the list in order here. And when I call your name, if you wouldn't mind just giving a brief introduction, your name and the business you represent. We'll go through a brief round of introductions. Everybody is currently muted, so please remember to unmute your microphone before you speak. And the microphone is in the top right-hand part of the toolbar there. So we will go ahead and get started with introductions here in a minute, and then we'll get into the special guest and presenter, Nicole McGee from Upcycle Part Shop, who will have some great information to share on best practices for holiday window decorating. If you're not speaking, please make sure to mute your microphone just to cut down on background noise. And feel free to use the chat function if you want to put a question in there so you don't forget it. But I'm not completely sure on Nicole's format for a presentation, but knowing her, I'm sure she'll want it to be highly interactive. So please come with questions. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started with some introductions. And thank you all again for being here. Let's see, first up is David Lee. David, would you mind kicking things off?
Yes. Hi. Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, good. My name is David Lee. I'm with the Candy Lady and Kids up at the Van Aiken Plaza. We're next to Walgreens. We're a family-owned business. We're a full-service candy store. We do, I'm sorry, excuse me. We do candy gifts. We do gift baskets. We do candy cakes. We're pretty much full-service candy, and we're looking forward to any new business we can get, any new friends, any new interactions, new customer base. So far, we've been getting a lot of new customers, a lot of new faces into our place. So that's been a really good thing. And, you know, everything's been kind of great. You know, the pandemic, you know, everyone's been set back by a pandemic and all of these extra things going on, but we're surviving. So I'm happy.
Great, thank you, David. One thing I forgot to mention, I apologize, we are recording this so that businesses that are participating who weren't able to attend this morning can view the presentation at a later date. So just wanted to let everybody know about that. All right, Grace, you are up next.
Hey guys, I'm Grace. I represent 319 Coffee at the corner of Van Aiken and Lee Road. We've been in business for about a year and a half now. And we love creativity and we love supporting local businesses. So we're really excited to work with Upcycle Parts Shop in doing something really cool and being creative and involving our whole staff. So really excited about this.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Grace.
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, you're up next.
Hi, everyone. Catherine Sterinsky, City of Shaker Heights Economic Development. And I'm thrilled that you're all here because I've kind of had dreams about this webinar for a long time. And love working with Nicole. So this will be great. And I love that it's being recorded so we can share it with other businesses who couldn't attend today.
Great. Thank you, Catherine. Krista, you're next on the list.
Hi, so I'm not actually a business owner myself. I'm just sort of representing Master Mars because they couldn't make it. I'm a kid who is enrolled in Taekwondo there, and so I'm just gonna report back.
Awesome.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thanks.
Okay, Maya, you're next on the list.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maya Jones-Seiler. I'm the owner of the Gentleman's Cave Luxury Barber Lounge. So yeah, to hear about this whole thing about decorating, I was super excited. So yeah, I'm thrilled to be able to, talk with all of you all to see what's going on. So thank you.
Awesome.
Excellent. Thanks for being here. Nicole, we'll come back to you. And then Rose, you're up next.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Rose Wong from Pearl Asian Kitchen has been in Shaker Heights for 42 years. So come on in and visit us, okay? Thank you for this presentation. Really needed it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Rose. Okay, Shaker Rocks is next on the list.
Oh.
Shaker Rocks, you're muted.
My bad. There we go. Sorry. Hi, my name's Kenna. I didn't put my first name on there. I just did it. I don't know why. I'm the marketing manager at Shaker Rocks, and I'm here representing our team and our staff. Our owner couldn't join because she's got to cover some things outside, but we're super stoked about this. I'm super stoked to get involved more with the community and decorate some windows. Yeah. So that's that.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, Stephanie, you're next up on the list.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm really excited about this as well. I'm so happy it's being recorded because I am not creative at all. So that way I'll be able to share it with a couple team members who I've enlisted to help decorate our windows. So I'm with Fast Real Estate Services, and we are located at 3705 Lee Road. So, our team is real excited about it. I think with the pandemic, we're all looking for something that can bring us a little bit of joy and happiness. And so again, thank you so much, Nicole. I'm looking forward to your ideas.
Thank you.
All right, last but not least, Tuba.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Tuba Baloğlu, Community Engagement Specialist, AmeriCorps Vista, serving for SHTC. It's great to see everybody here this morning.
Excellent. Well, thank you all again. And at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Nicole McGee, who is the founder and driving force behind Upcycle Part Shop and a number of other things too, but she's here for Upcycle Part Shop. So welcome, Nicole. We're thrilled to get your insight and expertise, and would love to hear a little bit about Creative or Upcycle Part Shop, and then feel free to launch into the presentation. So thank you for being here, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. You guys, I can feel the excitement. You shared it in your introductions, and it was so hard for me to stay quiet because I already like all of you, and I feel like you're already my people because you're here, you're excited, you're creative, or you're enlisting creative people to help you if you don't feel like that's you. And so I'm here to share, and I'm not a window designer or a visual merchandiser or a storefront pro at all. So that's, I think, why the brainiacs at the Development Corporation and the City of Shaker Heights, Catherine and Nick, thank you so much for collaborating and bringing me in. And Nick, it was so fun to hear from you again. We worked together a while back. I think that they brought me in as a practitioner. I'm a business owner like you all, and I want to share with you some of what we do. So I do have a presentation because I am a visual learner. I'm going to pull it up and walk you through where I'm coming from, some of the storefronts we've done, and then give you examples and best practices. So first I want to make sure you can hear me okay. I'm wearing a headset because I feel like it's the most comfortable for me. Okay, great. Well, and hopefully you don't hear my dog. There's a smell of peanut butter here right now because I gave him something to distract him. So that's my plan, is that he will be fine and you'll never meet him. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up and introduce myself a little more. So my name's Nicole McGee, and I am the founder and executive director of Upcycle Part Shop. That is in the St. Clair Superior neighborhood. And at Upcycle Part Shop, we have all kinds of creativity sort of coming out of what we do And I'm going to explain a little bit of who we are and why I'm talking about this and what we do there, as well as give you examples of the concepts of storefront design that we think about and that we've seen. So my current business is this nonprofit social enterprise. We call it a social enterprise because we run like a business like you, but we actually are a nonprofit organization. And that, social enterprises are businesses with a mission. So our mission is to provoke creativity and promote community through reuse, which means that we get secondhand materials donated to us, lightly used, reusable, non-toxic things. So we have traditional and non-traditional art supplies for sale in our retail shop at a low cost with a really big variety. And I want you to know that because you might need to access us, or we would love to meet you in person. But that's like where we're coming from. And in the past businesses I've run have been pop-up boutiques, gift shops, and vacant spaces throughout Cleveland. So I've been doing retail stuff for about 10 years, and I wanted to share some of what that looks like with you. Here's one of my favorite storefronts. So this is what the pop-up used to be called, and you don't even need to really memorize this because we no longer do this now. It's a Upcycle part shop is what I do as my full-time work. But this was an endeavor to activate vacant spaces, and it started in 2010 and moved around the city based on different invitations from different people, such as Detroit Shoreway Development Corporation, where Nick Fedor was at the time. And I was invited to bring artists and collaborators and come together and create boutiques. This is an example of a storefront we did that created some visual intrigue because, reuse and upcycling is what we do. And these are boxes that are from a sample company down the street. And we use the opportunity of these boxes to sort of catch the attention of people in a a business district where there's a lot of foot traffic. So foot traffic and like the ability to see this from close up as well as from the street is what made this a really compelling storefront. And I also have to say, I didn't do this. We have a volunteer and a neighbor who does this professionally. And so this was her vision. And I am just somebody who likes to be a sponge and learn a lot from people who know what they're talking about. So I love this example. And I wanted to show it to you because I would say I've learned from others. And I think she did a great job on capturing visual interest. Here's another example, and this was like more working with other people who are good at this, but also without it being a professional. This was in Shaker Square, and this was in 2011, a long time ago. What makes this so warm and fuzzy is the lighting. And truth be told, at the end of this night, this is like our opening night, our display didn't look like that because the lights were out and we didn't invest in storefront lights. But at this moment, when I captured this photo, I think it looks really dreamy, and it has the same sign. You can see the signage, and then there are merchandise displayed in the window. And then there are these really cool, somebody gave us a bunch of milk jugs they've been saving and we put candles in them. So I just think it's kind of a cool picture because it looks so warm and cheery and you get the sense that you want to walk into this place. That feeling is something I'm going to talk about. Like we're creating feelings and invitations for people to come in and explore what we have to offer. That's our work as business owners, and that's the opportunity of the windows. This is just a picture inside because we're going to see some of this fi kind of stuff in another example, and I just wanted to show you this is an opportunity. We use magazines for these little paper chains, and we all know and have experience with paper chains. We could have done 20 times the amount and it would have looked so much cooler, but we did this amount and it looked okay, so like we're not going to knock it out of the park every time, but I just wanted to share with you, like in the windows, if that would have been a lot more, that would have been even more striking. But I think it's a cool picture because, you do what you can with what you have. So let's talk storefront window. I used to teach at Tri-C and I taught in visual communication, and my education is in advertising. So I just sort of always like to come at things with the idea of like, what are we communicating and how are we integrating it? I think your storefront window is a little bit of real estate that you're communicating with. You already own it or you're renting it, but you have it, right? You're using and walking through and seeing and engaging and looking out a window of some sort, or people are looking in. It's engaging your customers and strangers. And the question is, what do you want to communicate? Or more specifically, how do you want it to feel? How do you want your shop to feel? How do you want your window to feel? How do you want your customers to feel when they're looking at you? And I know that that's sort of a big picture question, but I think it's an important thing. And I heard some of it in your introductions. You're excited to communicate about your work or your candy, your services, your place in the community. And there's ways that we can sort of visually communicate that to people and make them feel joy or connected. I saw in the email about the recruited you here today that Shaker Shine is about participating in the inaugural holiday window decoration showcase, Shaker Shines. And so it's about celebrating the holiday season, creating a festive atmosphere, attracting visitors, showcasing your business. And then I heard Stephanie say joy, and I love that. I think that it's completely true that we all are looking for things that just make us feel a little warm and fuzzy inside right now. And it sounds like you all are on board to create some of that. Oh, first we're gonna look at examples and talk more specific about storefront concepts and great visual examples. But I wanted to pause and not overwhelm anybody that might be feeling like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Because the pictures I'm gonna show you are sort of going over some concepts. I didn't do them myself. I don't know that I could do them, but I think it's important to understand the concepts, and then we'll break it down into here's a couple things that we might be able to do. So these scissors indicate when you're going to start thinking like a crafter, but right now we're going to look at some examples. Back to us again. So Upcycle Part Shop, we invested a while ago, and I don't actually have, I have no affiliation with the company. I don't actually even have the contact information. And invested in these vinyl stickers, which for us is answering the question, how do we want people to feel and what do we want to say? So we have our contact information, but I think more importantly, we say, what are you creating? And these tendrils that hang from our windows are an expression of our colors. We're a colorful place. It's intrigue. It looks like something's happening inside. And there's this handmade element. These tendrils actually were made by seniors at a senior center and donated to us, and we immediately hung them up like scarves. So it wasn't something that we really had giant plans about. It just sort of beautifully happened to us, and it was a material that we had within reach, and I'm so glad that that sort of came together like that. But it ends up looking like a cohesive look. And I also just want to point out that we have a blue door. I think painting doors is kind of a nice way to get people's attention and make it look like an intentional space. This is the other side, and we put our mission there. And so that's that was like a one-time cost to communicate what's happening inside this store. And then you can see we have yarn in the window, and we have some lights up there at the top. But the truth is, we don't actually update our storefront very often. We're really focused, like you, I imagine, on doing the work of running our business. So this is kind of our evergreen look, but it works for us. And we, if a volunteer or an intern or a really awesome store merchandiser has exciting ideas and wants to bring them to us, we will listen and we will let them run. But for now, this is our look, and this does a good job of communicating and looking active and, being a bright space where the windows are visually engaging with our audiences. Here's some basic approaches to storefront design. And I say approaches because I'm talking to you as a business person who might not have done this before, or maybe has done a little bit, but sort of wants to think like, how can I scale this? Professionals at this would have a lot more to say and would run in their own directions. But I'm sharing this as a practitioner. I think these are sort of the basics. We can think about shapes, colors and materials, repetition of those shapes or colors and materials, scale, light. Light is really important. And I know that Shaker Heights Development Corporation has already communicated a little bit about suggested lights, and I think that's great. And then purpose. That's like, what's the feeling or what's the theme? Like, what are you trying to communicate? And I think that an easy one without feeling overwhelming to yourself might just be joy or connection or festivity, being festive, or creating a welcoming environment. It doesn't have to be that you're communicating like, buy one, get one, this sale lasts this long. That's not, storefronts don't need to be your billboard. They need to be your welcome mat, like the way that people get engaged to want to come in. You can talk about those sales and promotions differently. You know, they walk in the store and that's what they want to hear about, or that's what your visual things display inside. But your storefront windows can be an opportunity to sort of be warm and cheery, or whatever it is you choose that you want to communicate. So here's some examples. Shapes. These are circles, just random examples. One of our team members pulled these together for us, and I thought that she did a great job of just capturing a broad variety of places that do these things professionally, and they look amazing. But some of them are really achievable, right? These are music notes, and the thing that makes something small like this work is the repetition. So if you have a couple of those in your window, scale really matters. You're not going to be able to see it from across the street or across the walkway. But if you have a lot of those, then they end up looking visually interesting. Books and paper, this is sort of about the material. So these are materials that we all have access to, and there's different ways you can use them. And, you know, you can see there's a repetition in here, because on its own, a book page isn't really anything, but like, you know, crafted together into these cool hanging things, it's cool. Or, you know, just some themes here. The Christmas trees are something that some people have done with them, wreaths. I just think that's an interesting material. Same with burlap. You can do all kinds of things with burlap, and burlap is something that, like a coffee shop like Grace has, different people have access to different materials. And again, the sort of clustering or big scale of something and using it in repetitive ways, that material becomes its own pattern. So these are just some examples with burlap. I love these ones, probably because I don't know how to do them, and I don't know that that we have windows like this. But I love these examples, especially this bottom left one, because it is such a great example of big shapes. We all have cardboard in our lives. We're all getting cardboard actually delivered to us regularly, I'm guessing. And painted cardboard can go really far. So that one to me is sort of it's like the best in show of something achievable. I mean, those trees this is not my design, and I don't mean to be ripping off somebody else's, but those trees are triangles and teardrop shapes that are just painted pretty basically, but look really nice. And then you can see there's a little bit of stacking, like a little bit of layering. There's a foreground and then a middle ground for all of these. So that's something to think about. It's sort of like Storefront 2.0 is like if you're thinking about how you're using a space, but you can also just sort of work with the flat window itself, kind of like we do in the example I showed. We hang those tendrils right from the front of the window. But lighting, you can see there's lights up here. There's lighting, you know, that you may or may not have access to, but even twinkle lights will help create the glow in the window for the work that you do. This one I love, and it's crazy, but I love it. And this is what I was talking about with paper chains before. So, you know, we know what minimalism is. This is the opposite, maximalism. So it's like, again, professionals are doing these. These are nothing that I did, but it's so visually compelling to me. And it's a whole direction. And I'm guessing this is like super advanced level, but I just wanted to share with you these visuals, because these are not foreign objects. They are achievable materials. It's just knowing the direction you want to go in. And then also thinking, like, answering that question, how do you want it to feel for your customers? Like, clearly these are boutiques and clothing stores. And so what they want their customers to feel might be different than what you're going for. But it's clearly a showcase of product, which, you know, is an option, but does not have to be the way you do it. I thought this was just a great example of creative reuse, which is what we do, you know, taking materials like packing cardboard and creating fireplace logs out of it. So we just kind of threw this one in here, not because it's a storefront, but because it's a reminder that there are materials that we can think of in new ways and create displays with them. And I mean, truthfully, a little pile of logs like that does feel warm and fuzzy. It could go in your window. Okay, these scissors mean it's time to talk about specifics. So we came up with a few ideas that we wanted to share with you that we thought were doable approaches. So I'm going to share those, and then we'll go from there. You might have seen this behind me, and when I pull down the presentation, I can show you a little closer. But one of them is a fiber fringe backdrop. So this is like, we have two examples of things that we think are completely doable, and we're going to walk you through how, and then I'm going to email with Tuba and Nick and make sure that you get links to these PDFs. So you will have the instructions for how to do this. And the first one is a fiber fringe backdrop. So this is scalable for your window. You can make this if you have a small window or a couple small windows, or if you have a really large window. What you're going to be doing is looking at the size of the window, and then you're creating your own custom piece with your own colors. So here's, in our instructions, we have a supply list. You'll want some twine or rope, strips of fabric. Of course, you'll need scissors and measuring tape. And we also use ribbon in ours. And then you can consider some other things to hang to add to what you're doing. Color is an important option. You don't have to go with holiday or festive colors. You can express your own brand colors through the windows. And if you add some twinkle lights, it's going to look festive and holiday and like a celebration. So, you know, color is wide open. You can do anything you want with color, but we do recommend like a color palette. So the instructions for this one are to consider the length of your backdrop, how long you want it to reach down, and then there's some specifics on how wide you want it to make it. I'm sorry, you can tell I collaborated with one of our team members to write these, so these are her words. But you'll be cutting a piece of twine strong enough, that's important, to hold the rope because it kind of gets heavy as you go, and you're going to choose that color palette. We used winter blues and cool metallics. And then you'll gather up your supplies. You're going to tear or cut your fabric into strips. And I love people who are good at measuring and are specific. I'm actually not one of them, but it does help to know, like, she's starting with a 1 or 1.5 inch wide strip. And then we're sort of layering different materials in a pattern to create the look. And then you're going to commit to the look by tying it. It's okay if some of the pieces are shorter than others. You can tie some together, and many fabrics you can sort of cut and then tear. So this is, you know, the specific instructions. And again, you can get this as a PDF. But this is, you'll just tie these down, and it's very basic, but together it looks festive and like a celebration. And we added some twinkle lights here so you can see the way that looks. So this is something that could be a little bit of a backdrop for something in front of it, or it could go right on your window. And it would look a little bit similar to what I showed you with our storefront with the hanging down scarves. So that was our first idea that we wanted to share with you. We call that the fiber fringe backdrop, and we have all kinds of materials to help you with that at our shop if you need them. We encourage you to come. The next one is snowflake pinwheels. And so this one we were excited. We use these in different ways and we create them in different ways, but we are excited to create these using something really familiar to business owners, and we're guessing you, the bubble wrap. So we made them see-through and put some lights behind them. And then we have instructions as well. And so, you know, this is one of those examples. You're creating a new shape, and the repetition of that shape is what will help it really stand out. So you're not making one of these. You'll be making, you know, like at least 20 of these, and you'll be putting them somewhere in your window to sort of layer them or create a look of them coming together. And here are the instructions. Really what you're doing is making squares, and it might remind you a little bit of being a child and making paper fans. That's what we feel like every time we do this. People often say, this is like a paper fan. It really is, and then this is my favorite visual. You're putting these two together, and then you're stapling them, and so you can see in this visual, this is where you're tying them, and then you're stapling to make that circle look. So that's a pretty simple treatment, but you can make them in various sizes. And in fact, making them in small and large sizes will help create a really interesting visual repetition in your design. This is not a storefront again, but I wanted to show you this picture so you can see an example. We do this a lot with kids, and it's pretty fun, as you can tell. You can almost hear this picture, right? And these are some of the kids, you know, come up with great ideas, of course. I feel like they're the most creative out of all of us. So this double stacking was not my idea. It was theirs. And the different sizes really come together. And this one even, for example, there's one in there that is not completely symmetrical, and it looks awesome. And some of them don't match. The halves are sort of vinyl banners and something like vinyl wall covering or wallpaper. Those all can come together just fine. It's just sort of a matter of many of them repeated. And it's the same exact treatment as the instructions that we did with bubble wrap. This next picture is another example. We do this on fences occasionally, and I love the way that it looks. This is not a storefront, but it's you can tell the sort of the way that this color and repetition and shape are all coming together. And I do think this is a look that could be hung from a ceiling in a storefront window, or maybe stuck up on stakes or something, or hung from ribbon. I think sometimes it's a matter of just the logistics of what window you're working with and how you can work on it with the materials you have. So, it's important to think, what do you already have? This is what we do at Upcycle Part Shop. We are a retail shop. We do workshops like some of the pictures you just saw, but we are encouraging you to think about, what do we already have within reach? Packing peanuts could be a really cool way to do a garland. You could string them sort of like popcorn. Wrapping paper is gorgeous and affordable, and you might already have some. That would make a great flower pinwheel, snowflake pinwheel, or multiples of wrapping paper. And newspaper. I love newspaper because it's so low cost and it's so ubiquitous. It's easy to find, even if it's not you, find a friend who loves to get the New York Times, or something that, it's like this readily available material, and you can repeat it, and that pattern that we saw with the book pages ends up being very interesting. Fabric is something I feel like a lot of people have and have access to. Bubble wrap, wallpaper, extra samples, burlap, and colors that are on brand. Even if you have your own marketing materials that are maybe expired, or you accidentally did an extra run of something, thinking about those as a potential for pinwheels might be interesting. And, the scale of that, if you have enough, could become large, even if it's just a small thing. So just thinking about what you already have, I always find to be an inspiring place to start. And of course, remembering these questions. What do you want to communicate, and how do you want your storefront to feel? How can those windows transfer that feeling forward for you? And then, of course, if you don't have those materials and if you want more, I wanted to just walk you through how to get to us at Upcycle Part Shop. So in these different times, we are not open to the public like we used to be, but we have a very simple process, and it's working very well, and it makes our customers feel very safe. So that's important to us. So I'm going to give you this website, but it's on our website, and then you go to shop, and I'm walking you through this in case you are unfamiliar with how booking through Square might work. So you're going to go to this section of our website, and you can see we use this picture from inside of our shop. I think that's kind of a cool picture. You would click on Book Your Visit Now, and our hours we're open 3 days a week: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, between these hours, noon to 6, and Saturdays 10 to 4. So in fact, you can get off of this webinar and schedule your appointment today, and we have afternoon appointments open right now. And that's maybe ideal. Momentum is a positive thing. So once you click on that, book your appointment, then you'll come to this page, and it just explains, this is for you or you and up to 3 people. Everybody is masked, and that's it. That's the maximum capacity is 4. Then you have the shop to yourself for 30 minutes. So it's a private shopping appointment, and that you're not going to be there with others. It's you and our staff, and that's it. And the reason why we like to do that is because it's safe. And also, it's a cool shop, but it's pretty cool to have it to yourself, because you can sort of run around and grab materials from upstairs and downstairs and leave things laying here and there. And you can do that for 30 minutes, and it's all yours. So when you go to this next page, you'll click on Book Now, and then this is where you'll get to. This will have the days that we're open. So I did this because I wanted to show you that we do have afternoon appointments. I chose 2 p.m. as an example. But all of these are open right now, so you could come today. And once you click on the time slot that you want, then your name and credit card will be asked at the next screen. It's a $15 fee, and that's your reservation fee, and then you get $10 of that back at the shop when you're shopping. So that's our way of modifying, and I know we've all had to modify in these times, and so this is how we've done it so that people feel safe and so that we can continue to provide service and what we do. So that's the way we wanted to walk you through how to get the appointment. And the website is Shop in Store. So upcyclepartshop.org is our homepage, and this is the specific. If you type this in, you'll get right to that page where you would book the appointment. So how are we feeling? I know that was a lot of information, and I kind of want to like see your faces again. But I'm almost done with this, and then I'm gonna close down the presentation and check in. So we can pull this back up in a second. But I did want to offer to you that I love this journey that we're beginning together right now. So if anyone wants to join me for a drop-in studio to see how you're doing, how you're feeling, I also roped in Catherine Sturinsky at the city. She's willing to join in too. And we were proposing Tuesday afternoon at 2 p.m. If you're interested in sort of checking back in on what you're working on, or the tendrils, or the pinwheels, or whatever it is you're working on, and you want a little support, or you just want to run something by us or get feedback, you can email me and I will send you a Zoom link, and we would love to see you. So that's just sort of a follow-up specifically for Shaker Shines, because we want to encourage this. And I think that sometimes when we're trying new things, it's helpful to know that like this is just the beginning of the conversation, and our staff at the shop too is ready to talk to you, and they are familiar with both those projects we mentioned. And we also are offering you some free ribbon if you come into the shop for your own fiber fringe. So that's my email address in case you're interested in a follow-up Tuesday. I would love to see you. And I think you got this. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back because I want to see your faces, and I'm momentarily forgetting. There it is. I'm back. All right. This is my first time on Teams. I've done Zoom a lot, but here I am. Thank you. Okay, so that is what I wanted to share, but I also am wondering how people are feeling and thoughts and questions that people might have. I'm ready. Maya, you look like you're ready to say something.
I'm like, I always look like I'm ready to say something.
You're my kind of people. Good.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool. You know, I really enjoyed every bit of your presentation. So yeah, I'm just excited to design, because that's just what that's what I do.
That's
so I'm like,
yeah. So you're ready. You're
yeah,
ready.
I'm here.
Do you have a sense of like what approach you're going to take?
Yeah, so I'm kind of like really big and trees.
Ooh, okay.
Green. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of take it that way, just something that just feels like there's still green around, because at this point fall has come, and the wind has blown all of the leaves away, and it's like, so sometimes to have that green, I don't know, for me, I think green is my favorite color. So for me, it's like I love to see green somewhere. So I think I'm probably gonna dabble into.
I think that's a great idea. The world does become, silver or gray and concrete, right? So, yeah, we know that about our region. That happens. So your windows are going to be warm and fuzzy in like whatever direction you take them in. I think nature is a really strong idea. I love that. I love it. Yeah. Okay. What else? Who else? I'm excited about this. I can start calling on you. David, I also feel like you might have something to share.
Something to say. Yeah, I was really intrigued by the presentation as well. The funny thing is, immediately when you spoke upon your dog at the beginning, I guess my dog heard dog, and he's been right through here. He's back now. Go Tiger, go lay down. And but ultimately, what I was going to say, we at my store at Candy Lady, we do a lot of decorating of our window anyway. You know what I'm saying? We change, we kind of change seasonally. We had during the 4th of July, we had like, a lot of fireworks looking colors. As the fall sprang in, we started putting up like scarecrows and leaf patterns. So we're really into decorating our window and our store anyway, because we're all about color and warmth. And of course, when you, like you guys said, when someone walks by your storefront, you want them to say, "Hey, what's going on in there? What's that all about?" You know what I mean? So we're really into that. And I got fascinated with so many of the ideas what you said about the packing peanuts and, you know, using things that are on hand, because I have a ton of that stuff that comes into the store. Packing peanuts, bubble wrap, you know, cardboard boxes. And I never thought to use any of that stuff for decoration purposes. You know, I was like, wow, I never thought to make a packing peanut like garland. I never thought that. I never thought, I have so much kids. You know, I do candy, so I have bubble wrap and paper packing and that stuff. It is literally everywhere in that store every week. So I thought those were really cool ideas. I'll definitely be implementing some of those ideas into our window. And I was, you know, I was really fascinated. I was like really fascinated. You know, I just kept jumping back like, wow, I never thought to use packing peanuts or bubble wrap, because, you know, you just think of it as packing materials, you know, that's there to protect the product that you have coming in. Usually just kind of pitch it out. So I was like, wow, I'll definitely start implementing some of those things.
That's amazing, David. My job in life is done. That was like, drop the mic. I mean, that's what we do at Upcycle Part Shop. We're thinking about materials we already have and where the value is and things we normally throw away. So thank you. That was like a testimonial. That was incredible. And I'm glad that you're thinking like that. And it's so cool you already do storefront window stuff. I'm sure I can come by and learn some things from you. Like, this is, I appreciate the audience, but I also think we all are stronger when we learn from each other. So I'm excited to see what you all do. I'm going to follow the hashtag Shaker Shines because I want to see how this goes. So thank you for sharing that. Is there anyone else that would like to share or ask a question or, you know, have any communication on this topic? Or maybe has a good idea of something that they've done, like packing peanuts or newspaper. Okay, well, I think this has been great. And it looks like Tuba maybe has something to share.
Nicole, thank you so much for this amazing presentation. It was very inspiring. And thank you for sharing your expertise today with everybody, businesses. And I'd like to thank everyone for participating today. I'm very excited to see the designs. And I encourage everybody to visit Upcycle Parts Shop's website and schedule an appointment for shopping. And as you know, the first 10 businesses will receive $30 credit from Upcycle Parts Shop. Thanks again. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions, any comments, and have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I thank you. And sorry, Tuba, I'm jumping back in to say,
Yeah, sure.
The $30 promotion I think is phenomenal. The Shaker Heights Development Corporation is doing that because what you don't know if you haven't been to us is that $30 in our shop is like $85 in a normal shop. Because we get things donated to us, everything is about a third of retail. So we don't really sell packing peanuts and like newspaper because you can get those on your own. But we have all kinds of fabric and textures and leather and surprising stuff. So bring it on. And come today, come tomorrow, come Saturday. So go to that section of our website. It's I'm going to put it in the chat here just to facilitate this because we're ending a little bit early, which means you have exactly the right amount of time to just go onto the website and make that appointment. And we have complimentary ribbon, like this kind of ribbon for you. 3 to 5 rolls of it because one of our donors just came in with like huge amounts, like bags full. So we want to share that ribbon, but also there's a lot of stuff there. And if it's a $30 gift card that you have coming, like you're going to get a lot of stuff. So that's my pitch.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been so fun talking to you all today. All right. Thanks, guys. Can't wait to see what you create. Take care.